Good morning, everybody. So today for our cooking class we're going to make a breaded chicken bruschetta. Basically it's going to be a chicken cutlet breaded. We're going to pan fry it and then we're going to finish it in the oven, and then we're going to make a bruschetta topping, which includes Roma tomatoes, fresh basil, red onion, some garlic, breadcrumb and cheese. Cheese will go with the bruschetta, breadcrumb of course for the chicken, and then we're going to put a little olive oil and some red wine vinegar. We're going to bake it, we're going to top it with the bruschetta. It's going to be very refreshing, perfect thing to do for the summer. Thinly sliced chicken cutlet. If you don't have the prepackaged in chicken cutlet, you can of course slice it yourself. Just makes it a little easier. So it's very simple. In the recipe, I don't believe I put it for time constraints. I'm doing this a little bit different than what I wrote in the recipe. When we make this chicken, I'm actually going to pan fry it a little bit just to speed up the process and also give a little crunch to it, and then we'll finish it off in the oven, and then I'll show you how to make the bruschetta topping. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chicken, I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to season it with a little salt and pepper. You guys, you don't have to do that. If you don't want to have salt or pepper, you can season it with other things as well. So a little salt, a little pepper, and then I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just going to mix that up, combine it, make sure the oil is nice and mixed with the chicken. So we get a little flavor in there. Okay, now to this mixture of the chicken, I'm going to add breadcrumb. You don't have to use breadcrumb. If you want to do it like a grilled chicken style, you can. I do the breadcrumb just a little texture. Also, if you don't want to use breadcrumb, you can use panko. It's a type of breadcrumb, but not made out of bread, made out of rice flour. It's also really good with this recipe, and it comes out really crunchy. So you get a lot of texture out of it. Along with this breadcrumb, I'm going to put about a half a cup of grated cheese. And again, we're going to mix it up. Now, if you see that it's starting to get a little too dry, you can add a little bit more olive oil, because you don't want this really dry. You want the breadcrumb actually slightly wet. Now, once this is all mixed up, in the recipe I sent you guys, you can basically just put this onto a baking sheet and put it right in the oven. But like I said, I'm going to do a little bit different today, only for time constraints. So I have a little hot oil going in my pan, and I use olive oil so it's not too fattening. And basically, we're just going to brown these. Everybody follow so far? Easy enough, right? And that's all it is to the chicken, basically. We're going to sear them on both sides, get a little crunch out of it. And then we're going to pop them in the oven. And then we're going to work on the bruschetta topping. So, a few minutes those will be ready. So, while we're doing that, so, I have some nice, you could either use Roma tomato or vine ripe tomato, fresh basil, red onion. You're only going to use probably about half of this, a small red onion, some garlic cloves, salt and pepper, and then we're going to mix together the bruschetta topping for the chicken. Chicken's almost ready to go in the oven. Alright, so let me change this out. It's only going to go in the oven for maybe about 10 minutes tops, because you're going to be halfway cooked already at this point. So this is about where I want to be. So I'm going to take the chicken. I have a baking sheet. I'm going to take my chicken and I'm going to finish it off in the oven. Pop it in the oven. About 10 minutes and we're ready. So, first thing I do, again, Roma tomato, vine ripe tomato. I got the vine ripe tomatoes were absolutely gorgeous this morning, so I picked these up. So, basically, we're just going to dice them. They don't have to be particularly small or particularly large. Just be careful when you're cutting. So I'm going to chop these up. And then we're going to get ourselves another bowl. And we're going to put all the tomatoes in there. You're going to need about 3 tomatoes to do this recipe. That's the first one. So basically, I don't know if you can see it, they're not too big, not too small. If you want them smaller, you can. In the bowl. Okay, so now garlic. For this, you need like maybe 2 cloves, 3 cloves at the most. And you basically just want to mince them. You don't want to have 2 big pieces of garlic in there, otherwise it's going to be a little off-putting. So we're just going to chop these up. If you have the old school little machine my mother used to have, you put the garlic in there and it crushes it and turns it and makes everything nice. Alright, so about there. Alright. And we add that garlic to the tomato. Okay, now red onion, again, if you have a real small one, that's fine. If not, you know, a medium-sized one, you're only going to need about half. And basically, this one you want to make a little bit smaller than the tomato. I wouldn't want to have too big of a red onion in this dish. And if you don't like onion, you don't have to put it. It does give a great flavor for it, though. And basically, we're just going to dice this. Again, you can make it fine. You can make it a little bit bigger. You can make them in strips. A lot of different ways. Okay, so I put the red onion, garlic, and tomatoes so far in that bowl. Now, fresh basil, same thing. We're going to chop this up. All right. And we're going to add this to the mixture as well. Okay, now, again, optional, you guys could add salt and pepper. It's up to you. I'm just going to put a little pinch of salt in here because we're also going to put grated cheese. Put a little bit of pepper, however you like it to taste. We're going to add maybe about a quarter cup of grated cheese. Olive oil, maybe about a quarter cup, a little more. And then red wine vinegar. Just maybe about 2 tablespoons. And then you guys are just going to mix this up. And that basically is a bruschetta topping. What I usually do is I make this ahead of time. I put it in the refrigerator so it gets nice and cold. And then when that chicken comes out, that cold right on top of the hot chicken, oh my God, it's so good. Yep. Okay, so that's basically the chicken looks like. Nice and crispy and sure, no problem. All right. It's again very easy recipe. So what I do is I'll just put chicken in a plate. And then what we're going to do is grab that nice bruschetta topping we made. And it goes right on top, just like so. And then a little more grated cheese on top. I don't know, hopefully this doesn't fall off the plate. You guys can see it. And that's it. Simple, simple. Quick to do. It's unbelievably refreshing. You also, I've done this bruschetta topping with nice cucumber as well. Almost like a salad on top of chicken.